The Louisiana Christian University Wildcats mounted a furious comeback in the fourth quarter, but couldn't get the win in a 49-44 loss at Wayland Baptist. Welcome back, everyone, and it's time for the Ben McLaughlin Show with the head coach of the LCU Wildcats, our Cat Chat with Ben. Thanks for being here today.
No, appreciate you having us again. We appreciate the opportunity to talk about the Wildcats.
I know it's a tough loss, and you kind of dug yourself a big hole, and despite really charging hard in the end, just not able to complete the task.
Yeah, well, we were talking about it as a staff and as our team, and we just didn't play very good complementary football. When people talk about complementary football, offense helping the defense when they're struggling, defense helping the offense, special teams making a play when you need a special teams, and all three phases of the game, we had opportunities to either take control of the game and put the game away in the first half, or stop the bleeding and help us as we were making this comeback, so it wasn't going to be as big of a comeback, and we just couldn't. But you got to tip your hat to them. I mean, they played basically a flawless game. They did not turn the ball over one time. They took advantage of every turnover we had. They only punted, I believe, 4 or 5 times of their 14 or 15 ones, but we were always playing. They won the field position battle. If you go look at the starting possessions, I think we only started, in front of the 35, 40-yard line one time, and so they just did a really good job. They did everything they needed to do to win, and we had every opportunity, and we just have ourselves to blame on that, and so that's what we kind of approached this week and try to correct a lot of those mistakes.
I think what stood out to me in the game were the turnovers. You had 2 interceptions deep in their territory. There was a muff punt that they turned into a touchdown, and you really turned those around, and it's probably a different result.
Yeah, I mean, but credit to them for creating those turnovers. I don't want to ever not give credit to a team that made a good play, but we definitely feel like it was an opportunity for us to make a play, and it was there. And I know the 2 interceptions. I talked to the quarterbacks in River about. We always get too much credit when we win, and quarterbacks always get too much blame when they lose, because they touch the ball so much. But there were 2 throws there that we definitely wish we could have had back. He threw the ball. I think he had 450 yards passing, so he had an amazing game. But it's just in that type of atmosphere when you really need to help the defense out, sometimes you've got to play perfect to win. And unfortunately, he was 2 throws short of being perfect in that game. And so he took it well, and he's really rebounded this week. I know he's going to have another great game. And so, but yeah, it was really close right there.
Yeah, 450 yards passing, more than half of that to your freshman E.J. Scott. He's a local guy, went to Alexandria Senior High School. Tell me a little bit about him.
Yeah, I know E.J. well. When I coached at Ash, he was a sophomore my last year at Ash, so I actually kind of knew him coming up when he was 15 years old, and obviously kept up with him and know Coach Bachman and that staff really well. And so he was always a guy that, obviously I got this job in March, but as soon as I got it and I realized that he still was unsigned, he was the guy that we went after, because I know not only what kind of receiver he is and how explosive he is, but he also is playing a system that is very similar to what we do. So I knew he would be an immediate fit for us. And did I expect him to be able to come out as a true freshman and be this advanced? Probably not. It surprised me, but I guess I know it doesn't surprise him. I know he has that confidence in himself, and I'm so glad to see that he's able to show it.
Yeah, at his size, he almost reminds me a little bit of Jordan Rito, who you played with.
Yeah, it's. At the end of the day, you see those, but if you're going to play at an undersized, you've got to have something in your tool bag that's exceptional, and he is very explosive. He's very sudden, and so because of that, if you can't catch him, you can't guard him. So he's able to really get by some people when they're playing some man-to-man. And what I told him is, moving forward now, he's going to have a target on his back. So where, we kind of got maybe hid you in the future, these teams are probably going to put their best cover guy on you. So it's going to get harder for him, but I know he's ready to step up for that challenge.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of a guy getting 259 yards receiving and not have a touchdown.
He got caught on like the 4-yard line on one. He was so close on a few of them, but yeah, it was a really weird deal. But we scored touchdowns on most of those explosive plays that just didn't happen to go to him.
On the other side of the ball, defensively, I thought they hurt you with, at times, their running game, but more the running backs coming out of the backfield and making some big catches that they turned into touchdowns. Yeah, we play a very aggressive style of defense. It's pretty easy to see. That's not a secret right there. And so, we play a lot of man coverage, and when you do that, sometimes the guys whoever guards the guy in the backfield, it can be a little confusing. They get, guys that have them man, they get bad eyes or whatever. And so there were just a couple miscommunications. But like I said, when you see
NFL teams, there's a lot of miscommunication in a lot of games. Their quarterback and their running back made a play. So, I want to get that they get credit for making if we made one miscommunication, they found that guy and they made a great play. And so we definitely got to shore that up. But yeah, it was, we definitely had some bust there a little bit on defense, but it's all these things. I told our guys, these are all things that we can correct. It's not like we just went out there and they're just better than us. And so guys, it's all right. No. We've got to beat ourselves right there, so we can keep the focus on us. As we've got to do our job. If we do our job, we're going to have an opportunity to win every game. And so that stance is still there this week. And so it's allowed us to really focus on us and be the best version of ourselves to help us give a chance to win.
And you do have a very tough opponent coming in for this next game. Oklahoma Panhandle State, they actually beat Wayland earlier in the year 31-13. So you look at that common opponent, and that's going to definitely give some concern. But this is a team that LCU beat last year 29-17. So what are your thoughts heading into this game?
Yeah, the transitive property in football is hard to work because it's such a matchup-driven deal. Just because Team A beat Team B and B beat C doesn't necessarily mean, but that's how it's gonna work out. But it's a matchup-driven sport. But if you look back at last year, yeah, that game was 29-17 or whatever, but it was a one-point game in the fourth quarter. We were losing. We had to take a drive in the fourth quarter to take the lead and end up getting one more touchdown at the end to make it a double-digit lead. But make no doubt about it, Panhandle State and LCU have been in wars ever since that we came in this conference. They're a very tough, hard-nosed, gritty opponent. They play a brand of football, great defense running the football. They've got a very dynamic quarterback, very well coached. So they are on the rise, just like Wayland Baptist. That coach going in his second year. Panhandle's coach going in there. Anytime you have consistency at the coaching staff, you're just like you saw with Coach Maddox in his 4 years. Every year you have a chance to get better. And so they're going to come in here as an improved team. They're going to be a very tough task, but, we have them at home. We feel really good at home. We've got this winning streak at home that our kids have really bought into. And so that 12, 13, 14-hour trip is hard for them. And so we're hopeful that we can get them down here in this 2 o'clock weather down here in Louisiana, and it can be some good home field advantage for us.
Yeah, that's right. 2 o'clock game at Wildcat Stadium as the Wildcats look to get back on the winning ways. So hopefully you will.
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach McLaughlin, thank you so much for being with us again.
Yep.
That's Cat Chat with Coach Ben McLaughlin, and we appreciate you being with us. We'll talk with you again next week.